Hello, this is Magnus here, and today I'm broadcasting pretty much impromptu. I didn't schedule this live stream because I was having some trouble with YouTube's live streaming services, so it was a little bit difficult to kind of manage that. But anyway, impromptu, it's been a little over a week since I broadcasted last, but I wanted to pick things up where I pretty much left off. And today I'm doing Dead or Alive 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. And the way I do things is I tend to play the games live, try to complete as much as possible, and then I'll rate the games from 0 to 20, 20 being best, 0 being absolute garbage, to see if it's worth it reliving these games that are nostalgic, as well as some new games that I'll occasionally do. And today we're going back to the Dreamcast. So, Dead or Alive 2. What do you guys think, and would you play this game? So, I like to rate things in 4 categories. Is the difficulty appropriate? Do I find it fun today? Were the graphics impressive for the time? And do they stand up today? Well, Dead or Alive 2 is a special game, and we're gonna see if it stands up today. So let me hit this Dreamcast and get it going. So I'm gonna start off with the arcade mode and go from there on the Dreamcast. Now this game was pretty impressive for the time because it had in my opinion, a relatively fast load time. Now I'm gonna choose Ionic. That's one of my favorite characters. Now in this particular version of the game, it had an amazing load time. So the load time, it would initialize the engine and then boom, start off right away. And then from there, it's almost like you had no load times from the get-go. So having some choppiness here. Not sure why it's kind of freezing on me. It wasn't freezing on me before, but I can tell you that this game is pretty smooth when you play it. And it's kind of strange, but needless to say, I'll keep going from here. It has the ability, at least from when you play the arcade mode, like as soon as you beat somebody, it goes on right to the next match with pretty much no load time. So that's pretty awesome. Another interesting fact about the Dreamcast version of this game is that as you played it, the graphics not only were impressive, but a lot of comparisons were done at the time with the PlayStation 2 version, which was going to be released in a couple of months after the Dreamcast version was released. And the stark difference between both versions is that the Dreamcast version had something called anti-aliasing, which is when you had pretty much the characters look smooth. They didn't have jaggy edges because of the graphics. They were pretty just smoothed out and rounded out, which was pretty impressive for the time. But when you looked at the Japanese version of the game, specifically the PlayStation 2 version that was going to come out, it was a jagged mess. I mean, graphically, when you compared the Dreamcast version and the PlayStation 2 version, it was a pretty harsh difference. And that's unfortunate because it made the PlayStation 2 version look inferior, and it was just not pretty. And then if you, of course, fast forward through time and go to the American version of the PlayStation 2 of Dead or Alive 2, which was, it had a longer name. It was like not just regular Dead or Alive 2, but it had improved or at least fixed that anti-aliasing problem that happened previously. And this freezing is really getting on my nerves. Not sure why it's doing that. It wasn't doing that when I was playing before, but I already lost because I'm already getting nervous here. But if you look at the graphics, it's hard to tell that this was actually from a system that came out 19 years ago, almost 19 years ago, September 9th, almost 20 years ago. To my opinion, it actually looks pretty impressive. And unfortunately, I'm having trouble with this character. Now I gotta focus a little bit more on this gameplay and less on talking, because if not, I'm just gonna get slaughtered here. Now come on, come on, come on, come on. This pausing is not helping my case here. Come on, gotcha. It's almost like I'm doing slow-mo here, but it actually was a pretty good match, I gotta admit. But here we go. This game was also revolutionary in the sense that pretty much most of the roster was female. Now they purposely did that because they figured the female characters would attract attention, and pretty much they introduced physics, which is like booby-shaped physics with this game, which is kind of funny, but it actually helped sell the game. So, but you know, that's something that they continue on with the series. Now this series up to Dead or Alive 5, but when this game came out, Dead or Alive 2, I think this is when the series really caught people's attention, because the graphics picked up enough to where it actually mattered. I lose again. This is not easy. Not an easy game, especially since it's freezing. And it gets kind of irritating at this point. But let's see if I can really put a punishing onto him. Although the freezing is not that bad. It freezes on moments where I can actually use it to my advantage and actually put a hurting and a pounding on these guys, or plan ahead. Now this game has had an interesting structure, and it still kind of contains it today. Now you've got 3 sets of types of commands that you can do. It's either attack, a punch or kick attack, which is 1 punch or 1 kick attack, which you could combo or do interesting things with it, depending on what direction that you're pressing and then what button you're pressing. But also you can do a grab, which can override a lot of the moves. Or you can do an advanced counter. So if you press back in the counter button, you can actually counter an opponent's strike. So it's almost like rock, paper, scissors there. See, I just countered one of her moves, one of Kasumi's moves, and used her attack to be able to counter effectively. Now this stage is pretty interesting because you can't do it too often, but in this particular background, with these 2 particular characters, you could perform a finisher, an in-story finisher, while I get my butt kicked. And looks like she's making short work of me. See, I have to back up, but it didn't work. What I wanted to do was back up, and I failed. I didn't expect to beat her. But instead of doing this, she'll actually shoot a fireball and actually defeat Kasumi with a pretty interesting finisher. But I didn't pull it off there because I didn't even think I was gonna win. What's interesting too is that this game has a story as you play the arcade mode, and the characters say pretty interesting quotes, but I don't get how any of it affects any type of story. So I'm not pretty keen on the story to this game or how it goes. All I know is that some sort of story is going on, and if I can explain the Dead or Alive tournament, it's a tournament that's held by one of the characters who's pretty much rich and wealthy, and there's some side illegal dealings going on with Kasumi and creating a clone of hers for this Dead or Alive tournament. So there's a lot of controversy in this world that they have when it comes to that. So this is the last level, this is the boss. Everything is mine. Waiting. Delusion. What does that mean? I don't even know. And this character, what does he mean? What does he add to the story? I have no clue. He's pretty much just a random character that you gotta fight, that has a pretty impressive intro, that pretty much kicks butt, has wings, can shoot these these kind of, I guess, weird tornadoes at you. And then you gotta fight him. See if you could beat him. And he's pretty good at countering, he's pretty good at his moves. It's hard to counter anything that he does. Obviously he's beating my butt right now. I can't even face him. He just destroyed me. But he's a pretty intense character. Again, all rendered on the Dreamcast 19 years ago. And just impossible to beat. Now, I have beaten him, but when it comes to the story and how it adds to the story and what it does, I still haven't figured it out. Okay, those tornadoes slow me down, but nope. Come on, hit those buttons. And you could almost button mash this game, but you probably shouldn't because you're probably gonna get destroyed if you do. Alright, come on. Okay. That just did not happen. I thought I had this match, but he just took me out pretty quickly. And these slowdowns are really irritating. But hopefully I can use them to my advantage and beat this guy. Tenju. Ugh, come on. I won't say he's that hard, but I won't say he's that easy either, because his strikes are pretty devastating. But luckily this game does 1-round matches. Hit him, you're good, you're in, you're out, it's done. So behold, I am the Miyama's woman Tenju. And then it does an interesting zoom out, and then you're pretty much done with the game. So that's pretty a short arcade mode. I beat it in less than 10 minutes and already I'm on the credits. So, and then it just shows a replay of all the scenes. Now this particular scene that you have, that woman right there, she's the one who actually hosts the Dead or Alive tournament. But how would you even know that? And then the interesting Japanese dialogue that goes between the two of them, I particularly enjoy. Like, Sego yo ne, kokoma ne koru nante. Anata go. Za de ne, omae ga, okasama. Yeah, I said the whole line. I memorized that because for some reason I gravitated towards that scene. But long story short, this game is pretty cool. Now we're going to skip modes. We're going to go into the tag team mode. Even though it's pausing on me a little bit, I'm still want to show you a couple of little bit more of the features of this game that it had back then when it was released. So it's got a survival, tag battle, team battle, sparring, and whatnot. We're gonna go to tag battle. So tag battle lets you use 2 characters at once. I'll do a couple of these matches. I'll use my favorite character, Ayane, and then tag her up with her tag team partner, Ein, or whatever his name is. So again, 1 loading screen, and then it just continues on from there. So let's keep this stream going. So to have 2 characters per each screen, it kind of reminded me of like Marvel vs. Capcom or what I had at the time. Forgive the slowdown. Again, it doesn't normally happen on the Dreamcast version. I'm actually using an emulator to play this to make it a little bit better and to make it smoother. But in this particular case, it's not working for smoothness. But when you play the Dreamcast game, there's no slowdown. It just goes naturally and continually. So that's pretty nice. But from this extent, I believe the PlayStation version offered that too, besides the Dreamcast version. Again, I preferred the Dreamcast game, even though it had less features. It was the originator of this game that made it popular. In my eyes, this game was popularized by the Dreamcast version. Oh man, I got hit pretty hard. But I'm gonna finish this off. Boom. And get out of here. Alright, at this point I'm gonna stop this game. I think you guys get the detail, and I've pretty much had enough of this freezing. Again, no blame on the game. It's mostly due to the emulator that I'm using. I'm actually going to live stream another game in a couple of minutes. I'm going to cut this off and then continue another live stream because I'm a little bit short on my live stream. So I got 2 games for today. That's right. This Friday you're getting a 2-for-1. But let's continue on for the review with Dead or Alive 2. So first, is the difficulty appropriate for the time? I believe no. This game is a little bit too easy. Without having to play this game, and I haven't played this game in a while, I just picked it up right in front of your guys' eyes. Only tried a couple of times and I finished the game in less than 10 minutes. In fact, I'm already in the team battle mode after beating the game, and it was just incredibly easy. Even if you're a button masher, you can do pretty well in this game. So let me get my little scoreboard out as I usually do and write down the score. So is the difficulty appropriate? No. I'm going to give that score a 2 for difficulty. 2 out of 5. 5 being best. Okay, do I find it fun today? Yeah, it's fun. It has the same feel that the modern games have. Like I said, Dead or Alive 5 is the latest in the Dead or Alive series. So it almost feels like the same type of game that I pick up today. It feels similar. Similar characters. The graphics are a little bit weaker than what they should be on modern consoles. But I will give Do I Find It Fun Today a 3. Because yes, it's fun, but it's recycled content. So graphics impressive for the time? Yes. Oh my gosh, when this came out, we were used to PS1 and Nintendo 64 style graphics, which were just atrocious if you look at it today. But back then, these type of graphics, this and Soul Calibur were the 2 games that were just really having the Dreamcast stand out. So for the time, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Now, do they stand up today? If you played this game today, it's not impressive compared to some other games that you'd find out there. But it's not subpar, at least. I'd say it's right in the middle. So I'd give this a 3 for graphics being impressive. Because they do, if you pick this up today, you'd be like, oh, you're playing a fighting game. You wouldn't think that it's a fighting game that came out nearly 20 years ago. So it's still impressive. So 2, 3, 5, 10, 13 out of 20 points, which according to my scale means play it if you like Dreamcast games. So 13 out of 20. It's a pretty damn good game. I'd pick it up if you like Dreamcast. That's it. If you want to have any more videos or have any more recommendations, please comment down below. You're going to see another live stream within a couple of minutes as soon as I set it up, because I want to give you guys a little bit extra this Friday night. So as always, like, share if you enjoyed this video, and you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Now let me hit that stop streaming button and go on. See you guys later.